What's up everybody, Ninth Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video. Today we're talking about Milotic, an amazing water type Pokemon, mono water type Pokemon. Has a great positioning in the meta, a lot of good resistances, a couple of not so great weaknesses, but you know, it comes with being a Pokemon having a couple of weaknesses. So anyway, mono water type Pokemon, weaknesses electric and grass. Both of them are relevant enough in the meta, although they're not the worst weaknesses. We could have way worse weaknesses. There's ground and steel and fire everywhere, and then you have electric and grass, which are not super common. Electric is pretty common in the form of Rotom. A lot of teams will have some form of Rotom on it, and if you have the rotom-mow, well, you're kind of perfect against Milotic. But it happens, you know, and with Intimidate being everywhere in the meta, this Pokemon just has a great position in the meta. It's been on the rise recently in recent tournaments, and it's really just a cool Pokemon that you can play a couple of different ways. Really just one way with a couple of different little gimmicks that you could have. Resistances of Fire, Water, Ice, Steel, all really good resistances to have. You can switch this Pokemon in pretty easily on a lot of those Pokemon, whether it's special attackers or defense, to be honest. More so if they're special defense, just because our insane natural bulk gives us 145 base, which is unbelievably good, and defense with investments we hit just about the same. This Pokemon is very, very defensive, and for good reason. Pair it with leftovers, and it just sits there and puts out Scalds and Icy Winds the whole game, and it's really, really good. So, ability, competitive. Raises special attack by 2 stages whenever any stat is lowered. It's like Defiant, but with special attack, which is really good in a position in a game where Arcanine is so prevalent. Intimidate Arcanine is so prevalent. We'll have Landorus one day, and that Milotic will have a great position against, especially with Ice Beam in its arsenal. Being quad effective to that Pokemon is very, very good. Competitive, raising 2 stats is an absurdly good thing that happens. Like, your Pokemon becomes a monster of attacking, which is crazy because it's a monster of bulk, so it just makes it an amazing Pokemon in general. Anyway, into our stats here. Speed 81, a decent mid speed. We outspeed a couple of guys, not too much. We outspeed everything before Trick Room is activated. That is a Trick Room Pokemon, and under Trick Room we outspeed all of the fast boys, so it has a pretty decent position. As far as speed goes, it's on the same speed tier as Gyarados, although you'll never outspeed or speed tie Gyarados because Gyarados will always have speed investments. Meanwhile, this Pokemon will not. And yeah, into our bulk, 95 HP, already above average bulk. Defense 79, pretty solid with investments. This becomes an amazing defense stat. Special defense at 125, that's an insane base special defense. Absolutely excellent. Attack 60 doesn't matter, we don't care about it. Special attack 100 is very solid to be this bulky and then still have 100 base stat for special attack. This Pokemon really has amazing stats across the board. It really is just an amazing statted Pokemon. And yeah, so that's about it for our overview. Let's go ahead and get right into the build. So competitive for ability, of course, I've talked about how powerful that is, especially with Intimidate so prevalent in the meta. Scrafty, Arcanine, you just get huge and start doing insane damage. It helps that we also like just kill both of those Pokemon very easily, so that is awesome. And item leftovers, you can also use like a Pinch Berry or like even a Citrus Berry if you want to. I just like leftovers. I think you get more continual heal throughout the game, especially if you pair it with Recover and potentially Life Dew. Your Pokemon just don't die. Especially this one. If you have Life Dew, it really helps for your like Dynamaxing sweeping Pokemon on your partner Pokemon side, but I mean, you know, it doesn't do as much as Recover. So if you actually want this Pokemon to be great on its own, Recover is better. It will last the long game, which is really, really sweet. Into our moveset, we have Scald, Icy Wind. Scald is very good. Spreads Burn, its Stab, just is your big damage dealer, especially once you hit competitive. Scald just does a lot of damage. Icy Wind is a great move. It does damage to both Pokemon, and it also lowers the speed stat of both Pokemon. This is an amazing attack. Icy Wind is really, really good. It really helps you. It's essentially like a max airstream for the other Pokemon, but a reverse. It is really, really powerful. And then we also have Recover and Protect. I just love Protect. Like, Protect on this Pokemon I think comes pretty standard to it. Being able to stop, like, just dodge out things like Solar Beams and Leaf Storm and Thunderbolt and Volt Switch and all of these attacks. Being able to just stop that and then have your partner Pokemon deal with that Pokemon is a really, really keen thing to have. Recover, like I was saying, this Pokemon wants to live for the long game with recover, or with recover and then leftovers and then protect leftovers. This Pokemon really can live the long game. However, it has to do something, and Icy Wind Scald is definitely doing something. And so when you pair this Pokemon with another Pokemon doing something, you have a guy that doesn't die, that does something every now and again, and a guy that will die but will do stuff. So it's really good. Some things that we have also that we can flex in: Haze is a really good move. It just eliminates all stat boosts. So if you haven't used competitive, or even if you have and your opponent used like Belly Drum or something, so it's better to just to get rid of everything. Like, if you can sacrifice that competitive boost, then Haze is really, really powerful. However, I didn't want to really fit it onto this moveset. I really like the moveset we have: Scald, Icy Wind, Recover, Protect. I feel like it's very standard to Milotic, and it's just very good. It does what it does really well. Life Dew can switch out for Recover, like I said, but it will recover a third of what, or half. It'll recover half of what Recover does, but it'll give that other half to your partner Pokemon, which is pretty sweet if you're planning on just like sweeping with something like G-Max Lax, for example, and you just Life Dew every single turn. That's pretty good, you know. And then our last two flex moves is kind of gimmicky: Coil Hypnosis. So Coil raises our something. What does Coil raise? Actually, hold on. Raises the attack, defense, and accuracy by 1. So attack doesn't matter, but defense matters and accuracy matters, and the accuracy matters mostly for Hypnosis. So you Coil, and then you Hypnosis, and Hypnosis becomes guaranteed sleep on things. Not guaranteed, but it has a base 55, which is really, really low, but Coil gives us an accuracy boost, which is 1.5 times, making us from 55 to like 70 or 80 almost, which is really, really solid. That's actually above Sleep Powder, so right off the bat, we're just hitting really good Hypnosi pretty quickly, which is really good because sleeping is really, really strong, especially against Dynamax Pokemon, essentially just shutting down their Dynamax for the game, which is really, really powerful. Anyway, onto our investments here. It's pretty basic. Max invest into HP, max invest into defense, and then give it bold nature, so plus defense, minus attack, since attack doesn't matter. But we want to just get as bulky as possible. Really, this Pokemon wants to just chill forever, and it's really cool. Making this Pokemon potentially a good Dynamax Pokemon, especially once competitive happens. Once competitive is triggered, you go up to plus, especially if it's from Intimidate, then you're just straight +2. And Scald and your max Hailstorm and max Geyser are doing actually great damage, and your HP and bulk is just insane. So like, Dynamaxing this Pokemon after competitive boost is actually pretty nuts. And yeah, so that's really it. Really it for Milotic. Pretty self-explanatory. Just max into all of its bulk. You know, pretty self-explanatory. For partner Pokemons, a lot of this is pretty, like, makes sense, like, pretty basic and clear. So Arcanine, its ability is Intimidate, which is really powerful against opposing Pokemon, making this Pokemon bulkier, making it last longer since your opponent's attacks are going to do less damage. And then it also has access to Will-O-Wisp, which just halves the physical offense of a Pokemon. And then it also has access to Snarl, which lowers the special attack of a Pokemon, of both opposing Pokemon. So you put out Milotic, and then you put out Arcanine, it intimidates them. You hit Icy Winds and Snarls / Will-O-Wisps, and really you just make your opponent not be able to do anything. You recover up the turns that you have to, and then your opponent is just not doing any damage at all, and you just put them into an unwinnable game state, and then you just win through that. We also have Whimsicott here. Tailwind is obviously good. We also have Fake Tears, which is really powerful. After a competitive boost and Fake Tears, what can live? Come on. Like, everything just dies instantly to that. That's insane. And then we also have Charm on Whimsicott, which is really interesting because it just lowers the opponent's attack by 2 stages, which is essentially burning it, but it's Prankster, and it's also like guaranteed to happen, and you can stack them. So if like they come out with a Rhyperior and you charm it, right, it goes down to half of its attack, and then you activate its weakness policy. It goes back up to its regular attack, and then you charm it again, and it goes down to half, and then it's essentially just a nullified Pokemon, and then you throw out Milotic, and you're like, okay, try to attack me. You can't do anything. You know what I mean? And then we have Grimmsnarl for our next energetic Pokemon, mostly just for screens. I'm talking about making Milotic unbelievably bulky, so putting up screen after screen is pretty solid for that. You know, reflect, light screen, really, really good stuff. Thunder waving stuff, icy winding stuff, making things actually just not even there, which is pretty cool. Our next Pokemon is Durant. Durant has weaknesses to fire. Milotic likes to attack fire, guys. That's small synergy, but it's there. And the Tyranitar Excadrill combo likes Milotic a lot. Tyranitar Excadrill is weak to a couple of things. The fighting, fire, ground. Like big 3 weaknesses for that team. Well, Milotic doesn't care about fire. It's fine with like fighting and ground. Like, so Milotic kind of just like destroys that team, essentially. Also, another big thing to stop the Tyranitar Excadrill combo is Intimidate, and competitive is just like, okay, you didn't intimidate me at all, you failed. I'm competitive, you failed. You know what I mean? So that's really cool. So that's another like interesting little synergy. I think a lot of Tyranitar Excadrill teams enjoy having a competitive or Mirror Armor or Defiant Pokemon on their team, just to really like take advantage of people spamming Intimidate against it. So, and then we also have, it's like neat that if your opponent fake tiers Milotic and then doesn't like kill it that turn, you're like huge. You're super strong. So that's cool. Anyway, on to Pokemon that we're kind of scared of. We have some damage calcs at the end, but these Pokemon we're kind of scared of. So rotom-mow is just like a little bit scary because it has both like super effective weaknesses. However, if it's not running Life Orb, it's not going to kill you. Or like Choice Specs, it's just not going to kill you. It does outspeed you, and it's going to 2-shot you, and Recover won't put you back enough to not die to it. So it's going to 2-shot you no matter what, but if it has Life Orb, it like just OHKOs you no matter what. So yeah, and also if it maxes, like it's really scary. Max Togekiss weakness policy proc is pretty scary. Max Airstream will kill you if it's max invested into attack. Pretty self-explanatory there. And then, not really self-explanatory. If you didn't know that, like, don't get ashamed. Anyway, Duraludon, max lightning does a lot of damage. And if you're playing the Coil Hypnosis, then you can't Hypnosis. So, yeah, that's why he's there. So there's not too many things that just like immediately threaten you with like stab super effective attacks. So that's like actually pretty sweet. So Milotic has a really good position in the meta. Into our speed tiers. We're pretty slow. We're like all the way down here. Right here. So Milotic at 101, uninvested. It's fine. We don't need to outspeed everything, especially when we have Icy Wind to like bring things down. So immediately slower than us is a completely uninvested Togekiss, which you probably won't see that frequently. If a Togekiss is bulky, it will probably still have like 4 or 12 invested, so it'll either outspeed us or speed tie us. Most scenarios, it will still speed tie or outspeed us. But if it's completely uninvested into speed, we'll outspeed it. But that's like a very low chance. And then we also outspeed Mandibuzz, because Mandibuzz probably won't have any speed ever, so that's pretty cool. And like Taunt is kind of annoying. We can't recover it. It like eats our recovery, and like Knockoff is annoying for like leftovers, obviously. And once it gets toxic, that's going to be really obnoxious too. And so Mimikyu, hindering. So Trick Room, Mimikyu will outspeed. Like 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a fast Mimikyu, so we usually will just not be able to outspeed Mimikyu. But Mimikyu doesn't like directly threaten you anyway. And then we also have Tyranitar uninvested. This is pretty common actually. Like it's usually going to be into HP and attack. If it's going to be planning on weakness policy, if it's Choice Scarf, it obviously outspeeds us. So Tyranitar will outspeed like a few times. Immediately outspeeding us is Indeedee Female, uninvested. This will outspeed us every single time. Duraludon will outspeed us every single time. Although 9 times out of 10 Duraludon is invested into speed like a little bit, you know, so it's gonna outspeed us like by far anyway. It might even outspeed us after an Icy Wind, you know, so we'll have to see about that. And then Form Change Rotom, every one of them outspeeds us guaranteed. This is completely uninvested. After an Icy Wind is super effective into the Mow, but Mow is like really scary. So yeah, like they're gonna outspeed us and potentially OHKO us. Vileplume, scary. It has Solar Beam. They set up Sunny Day, it just Solar Beams us, or they don't use Solar Beam and they have Giga Drain, and then we are never killing it with Icy Wind, even after we outspeed it by Icy Winding like 4 times. It's kind of scary. Not super huge in the meta though. And then we also have Pelipper, always outspeeding us. It's gonna most likely have invested into speed. If it doesn't, then like that's weird, but it might not, you know. Anyway, that's gonna be it for our speed tiers. I did a bad job at explaining that. I feel like, but it's okay, it's okay. Anyway, onto our damage calcs. We have a bunch of random damage calcs. So the first one is Colossal, Max Overgrowth. This is max invested Modest Nature, Weakness Policy procced. Max Overgrowth guaranteed OHKOs us, so like be kind of afraid of that. And after Steam Engine activates, so if they use like Colossal and Dragapult, which is like the most common way of using Colossal, they'll use Surf, and then it'll hit the Colossal, making its speed insane, or like not insane, but like insane compared to where it was. And then its Weakness Policy procs, and then Max Overgrowth just OHKOs us. So like be kind of afraid of Colossal, honestly. You would think like, oh, I'm quad effective, I'll kill it. Yeah, but it's kind of scary still. Togekiss, Max Airstream, Weakness Policy procced, max invested into Special Attack, will have a chance at OHKOing us. Probably not, it's a really low chance, but I still wouldn't like risk that, you know, because a 12.5 chance can just like ruin your career at like an event or something. At an event, yeah, at an event, yeah, you heard it. If you didn't hear it, then like good. +2, so like this is Weakness Policy, Max Airstream coming into us. We're probably gonna die to that. Like I wouldn't challenge that, especially if they like fake tears, that we're dead, you know. Fake tears, even like without Weakness Policy, is about equal of a chance. So Solar Power, Charizard, Max Overgrowth, Max Invested, Dynamax Solar Power with Max Overgrowth, Max Invested in Sun, so it gets the Solar Power boost, has an 18.8% chance to OHKO as well. It's a little bit better than the Max Airstream, but it's still gonna like, I wouldn't challenge it, you know what I mean. You can Scald and then be like, all right, I'm not gonna die, and then you'll die 18.8% of the time, which is a really low chance. I know it's like less than, I was gonna say less than 25%. Obviously it's less than 25%, but yeah, we have like a low chance of that OHKOing us, but it can OHKO us, and that's like kind of scary. And a lot of the time, like a Charizard will be partnered with a Whimsicott, and it can fake tears us, and then we probably will die. So like be careful of that as well. Pretty much what I'm saying is fake tears like is scary. It's always going to be scary. Duraludon, Max Invested, Modest Nature, Max Lightning into us. We live it. We go down to 60. It's 63 to 75%. Not too bad. You know, it's not a big deal, but it's like, it does a lot of damage, and we're like kind of scared of that. Milotic, Scald into Excadrill. Doesn't do much damage. Don't rely on damage from Milotic. It's not going to be doing a lot of damage without competitive boost. However, if they competitive boost you and you're +2, then we're still not killing it, but we're doing a lot of damage then. That's where the key is. And then Icy Wind just does like solid damage with speed debuffs to everything across the field, like for the whole game, which is pretty good. But anyway, here for the last one. So we don't do much damage to Excadrill, but Excadrill doesn't do much damage to us. So this is Max Invested, Adamant, Life Orb. So this is probably Sand Rush, because usually if it's Mold Breaker, my voice is awful today. Ugh. So usually if it's Life Orb or Adamant, it's gonna be Sand Rush, because otherwise it'll be most likely Focus Sash and Mold Breaker. And then if it's Mold Breaker, it's gonna be invested more into speed, so it's gonna be Jolly Nature. So this is gonna like guaranteed outspeed you, but it doesn't do like enough damage to be like, oh no, that's bad. So 252 like max invested Max Quake into our 252 max invested HP and defense Milotic is 67 to 79.7%, which is a lot of percent. Don't get me wrong, but recover gives us back 50%, and leftovers gives us back a 1/12 of our percentage. So, or an 1/8. Do I not know how much leftovers does? Wait, a 16th? I was so wrong. What? Oh well. A 16th plus 50%. So that's like a 16th is how much percent? Like 8%? Is that where the number came from? 1/8? 8%? I don't know. It's too early for this right now. But like you get back a good percent, especially with recover. So if your like opponent, their Excadrill or something, is targeting down your Milotic and it does like 60%, you just recover every single turn and then have your partner Pokemon deal with it, and then there's like nothing they can do, which is like super good. Yeah, that's my last damage calc. So that's the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and like and subscribe to my page. It's for more Sword and Shield content, and I hope you like Milotic and try it on your teams. It's pretty good. That's about it for this video. Music by Glitch City. It's in the description down below, and comment down below if you want more guides or battles from certain guys. So do that. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.